Hello and welcome to Dr. Alyssa's Hot Topics on Health. Today we are digging deeper into fertility. This is something that we work with on an everyday basis at Roots, and we are very passionate about helping women figure out what their fertility is doing and what it's not doing. Now, in the last video, I talked about fertility as that three-legged stool. So fertility is held up by three main factors: stress, hormones, and lifestyle. So when we work with stress is your alarm system, and stress isn't what happens to us. Stress is how we deal with what happens to us. And we look at stress from a physical standpoint. So we look at the adrenal glands, which are the organs that actually produce your stress hormone, cortisol. And we actually measure cortisol with saliva to see what it's doing throughout the day so that we can address certain areas that are not doing what they should be doing, either supporting the adrenal glands or maybe actually giving you minerals or nutrients that your adrenal glands need to produce the amount of cortisol that your body needs to handle stress. If you are not producing the right amount of cortisol that your body and brain are demanding, this can lead to anxiety, depression, and panic attacks. So we really like to focus on the physical aspect of stress to make sure the organs are doing what they should be doing. We do this through a saliva test. It's an at-home test kit, super easy. And it just gives you answers to why your body is or is not handling stress well. The next thing is hormones. Hormones are huge when it comes to fertility because if your hormones are not in balance, or if you are blocking binding sites, or if you are not producing enough of a certain hormone, you are not going to get pregnant. We actually test hormone levels, which not a lot of people do. And I've experienced this personally because I just kept getting thrown on birth control for my hormone issues. And it wasn't fixing the problem. It was just a Band-Aid for the symptoms. And then the problem got worse and worse to a point where I had to do a lot more work to get my hormones in balance. So we actually test your hormone levels. And again, it's an at-home test kit, which makes it super easy. And we are testing LH, FSH, sex hormone binding globulin. We're looking for exogenous estrogens, which are exposure to estrogens in your environment, and also measuring your progesterone, your estrogen, your estradiol, your testosterone, and really seeing what your hormones are doing at certain times during your cycles. And we have some great apps too to help track your cycles and to figure out what's happening when and why. All right, the next one is lifestyle. And I want to hit this one a little harder because lifestyle is so important with what your hormones are doing. And it's not something that anyone talks about. What you eat, so the food you eat and what you drink are very important. Absolutely, that's a given. So I'm not going to talk about that, but I really want to talk about the products that you use that could actually be disrupting your hormones. This includes phthalates and xenoestrogens. So I want to hit phthalates first because phthalates are going to be found in body products. They are what make your body products smell good. So look at your lotions, your body washes, your shampoos, your face products, your makeup for the word fragrance or perfume. If these two words are in your products, throw them away. These two words, fragrance and perfumes, contain phthalates, and phthalates actually block the binding sites for estrogen in your body, and that way estrogen's not getting to the right place. So you might be producing enough estrogen, but you might not be attaching it appropriately, and then your body doesn't get the estrogen where it needs to go. This also causes a secondary problem because the estrogen you are making will then recirculate through your bloodstream and get stored in tissue such as your breast tissue, and over time that can cause other more serious issues. So look for the word fragrance and perfumes in your products because anything you put on your skin is directly absorbed into your skin. This also means checking your sunscreens now that it's getting nicer out somewhat. Anything that you put on your skin, check for fragrance and perfume. If it has it in it, throw it away. Other options I will put down below for other products, makeup products that don't contain these words, and even natural products such as Burt's Bees, I have found have fragrance in them. So really look deeper into your ingredient lists. The other thing is xenoestrogens, and this is spelled with an X. Xenoestrogens do the same thing. They block binding of estrogen in your body. So they are an endocrine disruptor because they block the binding sites for estrogen. Xenoestrogens are going to be found when you heat plastic. So if you are drinking out of plastic water bottles, if you are drinking out of a Keurig where you're heating the plastic cups, or if you are putting plastic in the microwave, stop immediately, because when you heat plastic, you leach those xenoestrogens into the food or drink and then you ingest them. And the one thing with the plastic water bottles is you have no idea how long that plastic water bottle sat on a warehouse shelf or was in a semi in hot weather for hours at a time. So get rid of the plastic, use stainless steel or glass instead. And then for the Keurigs, brew your coffee at home or go to a local coffee shop. Another thing that, another way you will get xenoestrogens in your body and metals in your body that will disrupt estrogen and hormones is through cookware. So if you are cooking on Teflon, or if you're using aluminum, or copper is a big one right now, get rid of them. Get stainless steel instead, get the iron instead, or use glass for bakeware instead, because this Teflon, the aluminum, and even aluminum foil. If you are heating aluminum foil, you are putting aluminum into your food. You are leaching it into your food. And copper, again, will mimic estrogen and block the binding sites of estrogen. That's why they make copper IUDs. And again, that causes huge issues with your endocrine system and will disrupt endocrine function. These are just a few of the things that I want to touch on. There are many more out there, and we'll include them in future videos. But at least this gives you a little bit more insight into what you're doing on a daily basis that could be affecting your fertility. If you have more questions or want to sit down and talk about what your fertility is doing, contact us at rootsholistichealth.com. We would love to set up an appointment to go through this with you on a more individual basis. I hope this sheds some light on fertility and gives you guys a little bit more information about how to improve your fertility, even just from what you're doing on an everyday basis.